What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Run It Up. Today on the show, we are playing some 50-cent $1 no-limit Texas Hold'em on Ultimate Poker, and we are in for this session for $150. I've only been playing for maybe like 10, maybe 15 hands. I'm stuck about $60 right now. I played a hand against Ream Stars where he had 3-4 and I had 5-6, and I check raised on a 10-6. 5, so I had bottom 2 pair. It turned him as a 7, gave him a straight, gave me still the 2 pair I had on the flop, and I did not improve on the river, so I ended up giving him a double up there. So that's how he has 150 bucks, and we're in for 150. Let's see if we can't try to end with more. So I actually haven't played this Ream Stars guy before, but he seems like an interesting type of player, and not a kind of player that we've seen a lot of on Run It Up, actually. He seems to really like these pot-sized bets when checked to. Like, it seems like his default seems like he just likes to bet the pot, which is something we haven't seen very often in Run It Up. So I was actually playing him heads up for a little while, and I kind of wish we were still playing heads up, but three-handed it is for now. I'm really looking forward to, in this video, I know we like our silly shenanigans, and there'll be plenty of that, I would presume, but I'm really interested in seeing how we can try to exploit him and talking about, like, how we punish those guys that like to just bet pot a lot, and what we can do to kind of avoid some pain on our side. This Greg guy I played with a little bit before, but not a ton. In this hand, having flop bottom pair and a gut shot straight flush draw, I feel like we can start with a bet. It can't be too bad. I mean, it can't be bad to bet or check. Either seems okay. If we knew our opponent, we could say which would be better, but we don't really know if our opponent is Foldylocks or is calling Connie over there. Connie? Okay. I guess that works. I liked Foldylocks a lot better, though. Let's go with that. So until we know a little more about our opponent, it's really tough to say what the correct decision is there. In this hand, the Ream Star is limped on the button. The last time I saw him limp on the button, he had 3-4 offsuit. So it's possible he just has straight up nothing, and he limps with like all his really bad hands. So it seems like that's possible. I've also seen him min re-raise. Oh no. It's like the white whale escaping. Well, I won't go through all the rest of his tricks and things that I've discovered here. Let's see if Greg wants to play us for a little bit. Hopefully he does. He's got his armor. He's ready to go. I like my armor better. That's right. Look at all this Run It Up armor I'm wearing today. That's right. Let's move the camera over there. Maybe he'll be less intimidated when he has a little bit more room to breathe. So against a guy we've never played heads up before, only seen him play a little bit, we're going to have to kind of like test him out. If you've never seen me play somebody heads up before, I'm a big fan of establishing certain things with our opponents. You know, you don't know what your opponents are weak at until you test them in certain ways. So, you know, I don't know, does he fold a lot? Does he call a lot? I have a feeling he's on the foldier type of players. So I'm just going to start here with a check. My plan is to call on the majority, if not every single turn, and then probably call on the majority of rivers. Our hand is just too good. You know, we're just playing it as like bluff catching mode instead of bluffing mode. So gonna start here with a call on the turn. Pretty sure I'll be calling on the majority of rivers here. There are just too many things that we beat. You know, we beat every single unpaired hand worse than ace-10. It's true. There are a lot of those. We are getting 3-1 on the river here. You know, we lose to like Jack-10, Jack-8, Ace-9, you know, 10-9, 9-7. You know, we lose to a lot of those hands, but I think we win this often enough. I'd like to see what he has also at the beginning of a match here. In the worst case scenario, he wins money. Maybe he won't quit us. And the best case scenario, we win and just continue on winning. So we got ourselves a redo with the Ace-10 offsuit. Gonna raise it up here in the big blind. Don't see reason not to. Just gonna punish him for limping with hands that ace-10 is destroying pre-flop. Off to a flop we go. Have not made it the pair status, but we're still gonna start here with a bet. I think there is a decent chance that our opponent will fold better if he has them. Not often, but if he has a hand like pocket fives, you know, maybe even a hand like 6-3 suited. I mean, those hands aren't folding immediately, but they might fold. They'll definitely fold by the turn if you put enough pressure on there. I think we can start talking about when I'm trying to crack the armor of our knight contestant over here. You know, we really want to say, okay, so let's talk about let's forget about everything post flop. I just want to talk about let's learn about this guy's pre-flop tendencies and see what happens. If we min raise, does he call a lot or fold a lot, or does it make any difference to him whatsoever? We can't know based on one hand, but we can know based on a sequence of hands what happens. So this is the first time he's 3-bet us. So this is the first time he's re-raised versus our raise. So we're going to keep an eye on that going forward. I'm just going to call for now, kind of playing my hand a little bit slowly. I believe I have the best hand pre-flop, or at least I'm more likely to have the best hand than he does. He definitely could have a pair or something, but re-raising here pre-flop would have been totally fine and probably my standard play. But I wanted to just call so I could kind of see how this hand would play out. Given that I hadn't seen him re-raise yet before. Going to start here with a call. Have a gut shot. Ace high gets still be the best hand, like we said. Excuse me, like we said. On the brick turn, we're going to have to see what he does. If he bets a lot, we'll have to consider just folding. Betting half pot, though. There are still some hands we beat. King Jack, Ace Jack, some low diamonds, king queen of diamonds, stuff like that. Not a lot of hands, but we are getting over 3-1, plus we have position, and we probably win the pot sometimes on aces and queens as well. 7 is a very interesting river card for us. If he has a hand like queens or kings, this is a very good card for us. If he has a hand that has a jack in it, this is a less good card for us. He could definitely check hands with jacks in them because of the diamonds, and we do have the ace of diamonds, but unfortunately we're not playing PLO. So no guarantees that that will mean anything to him. Probably not. I mean, help us out in any way. Have to bluff, though. Obviously, this is pretty much a mandatory bluff. We have the absolute worst hand, nearly the worst hand we can have in this spot. Do pick that pot up there. We could have just had the best hand. It's definitely possible we had the best hand, but I'm going to pretend he had 2 kings. That's right. 2 kings, and we just somehow, you know, zigged and zagged our way right to winning the pot land. You know, it's very easy to play pocket kings pre-flop. It's much harder when there are 5 more cards out there. I'm just saying. Let's make it $3 here. See if he reacts differently to making it 3. Maybe, you know, if he folds, we have that to add to the pot. So when we min raised, he re-raised. Again, it could have been more determined based on his hand strength than our raise size, but we're going to be aware of that anyway. If we see him consistently attacking our min raises, we're going to definitely realize that and exploit that, I think. In this hand, he limped and we checked. I'd love to see how he reacts to a lead here. Just betting out with our bottom pair. If he folds, okay, I guess we have the best hand. If he calls, or maybe we wouldn't. And against the min raise, we are getting a very good price here, and I'm not going to fold just yet, given that we have a pretty connected side card to go with our bottom pair. Could always turn 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 9s, I guess, are not great, but we could. And we could just have the best hand right here and now. We could have 10-9, 6-5, or something like that, and it could go check-check on turn. If he bets here, I'm probably going to just fold. We're too often just drawing dead. Interesting to see him bet the pot here, though. So pretty different variants on his betting. You know, I'm not sure if that's based on his mood, if he's just like, this silly leprechaun, I raised the pot. Like, you know, maybe that's what it is, or I bet pot, I guess, in that case. So, you know, maybe that's what it is. Who knows? It's impossible to say. All we can do is put our little sensors out there and to get a feel for what we think he could be doing and make some better guesses than our opponent will make. Going to start out by betting half the pot here. Not a hand I open all the time, but I did open it. So given that I raised, I think we have to start with bet. Do take that pot down. Always nice to win the pure shenanigans hands, like the old 9 Dewey there. Going to be calling this against anything that's not $4 or above, maybe even like $3.50. He'd win the pot. Interesting that he keeps limping here. He's now limped, I think, 3 hands this video so far. Don't think any of them have got to showdown. The last time I bet out $1.25, he raised the pot. Let's see what happens this time. I feel better about our hand this time than I did last time, even though we had a 7 on both occasions. This time he just calls. Still could have the best hand here on the turn. I don't think like checking is the right play, because I feel like he'll be too likely to just check back if he has a 3 or a deuce, you know, a worse 7, of which there are not too many. Even like an ace-4, ace-5 kind of hand, I thought that would be too likely just to check back. And I didn't think he was the type that was going to want to bluff or take me up on my offer to bluff. Let's try to min raise, see what happens there. We've been mixing it up between 3s and 2s, 3s with bad hands, and haven't mixed in too many 2s yet. So let's see what happens with that. He called here. Again, doesn't really necessarily say anything, but if you're a player looking to figure out how to adjust and adapt and dissolve your opponent's armor away, that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to kind of get a feel for what our opponent is doing, what makes our opponent make his decisions, and where we can try to find and detect those chinks in his armor, as it were. So we could call in this spot. It can't be too bad. We're getting a decent price. We are ahead of some hands. We have a 3 flush, a 3 straight, and under pair. I think I am going to actually appeal here. I talked myself into it. So my plan now on this turn card, I guess, is to... Maybe with the sweetest of JCarver money, I would just call. But I think even that is a little too ambitious. When he has Queen 10 or, any queen, we're so in bad shape. And if he has a hand even just like 5-7, he's in very reasonable shape against our hands, given that he can hit a queen, a 6, a 5, a 7, an 8, a 3. And if he has a flush draw, it's the same thing. So... I'm okay with just folding on the turn when he bets the pot. And we've now seen him kind of like, when he takes flop aggression, he seems like he bets the pot very often on turn. So I think what that would mean for us is that if we flop a big hand and he's being the aggressor on flop, we don't want to take that away from him. We'll want to give him a little bit of rope, I think. So he didn't show, once again, this is another one of those limped pots where he just checks back on flop. I think I like a stab here. So far, when he's checked back on flop, he hasn't continued on turns, not saying that he couldn't now, but he hasn't so far. My plan is to continue bluffing on definitely rivers like this. My plan was to continue bluffing on hearts, 8s, 10s, and this seems like one of those cards to me. Let's just bet the pot straight out. Let's just bet the pot. I don't think he folds 2 pair or better, but I think he'll fold all his 1 pair hands. Maybe not like ace jack, but that would bet flop and raise pre, so nice. Felt pretty good about that one. 101. Nice classic stack size there for the kids. Let's make it 250. Let's see if that does anything different. Not expecting it to do anything relevant at all. Let's just start out here with a raise. Could also start limping in. We've seen him limp a bunch himself, so I don't know how he'll react to it, but we could always try. Can't be bad. Ace King 5. We've seen this guy kind of play a little bit more conservatively on the flop. I don't think he's going to peel if he has like pocket 6s, pocket 4s, a 6-7, or like, I don't think he's going to check raise bluff us here too often or anything like that. So I like checking back here. We're going to play our hand a little bit deceptively, maybe let him make mistakes on turn and river. If he checks to us twice, I think I'm going to check a second time. Just because I feel like he probably doesn't have very much. We could bet like half pot, and it seems fine. Actually, I think I will bet half pot. Exactly half pot sounds okay. If he has a 7-5, any straight draw, any flush draw, we'll get some value right now. Could have queen jack, jack 10, and I guess checking back twice is okay, but I think I'd rather do that if we had like ace 5 or even just like ace queen, something that I was a little more confident was way the best hand. Although I was pretty confident that was the best hand. Now he makes it 3x. Not sure what this means. We could, if we were going to play this guy for like 2 hours and we knew he wasn't going to quit, I would love to re-raise here. In fact, you know what? We will just for educational purposes. I don't love this by any means. We're risking 9, not 10, because we're in for 1. Risking 9 to win 4. So there we go. Educational purposes and the financial purposes. So, you know, I really would like to test that out and go, okay, well, he's never made a 3 before. What does that mean? Does that mean he has a big hand, or does that mean he has nothing? What does that mean? So, you know, the only way to find that out is to test it. And in that spot, it just seemed like a spot that was okay to test it. It's always, you know, some players, when they do things you've never seen before, sometimes it means strength and sometimes it means weakness. And sometimes people are just running back to the computer and just mash the button. It's impossible to know, really, online. But that's kind of the beauty of online poker. In this hand, this is the first time our opponent has bled out. We could raise. I think that's a very reasonable thing to do. Just raise it up straight out here, and that's what I am going to do. I think he might fold the king right now. He might just call with like ace 4, give us a free river card if we want it. We do have the best hand sometimes as well. He could just have low spades or one of the lower gut shots, that kind of thing. I'd be confused if he bet out here. If he bet out pot or something, that would be quite confusing. I feel like we could bet. I could very easily bet this. If he has an ace, he's never, ever folding, though. And the only hands I think he folds at this point are, like, king X's and, like, maybe, like, low spades. But we beat the low spades, and I don't think he has too many king X's that he calls pre, bets out, and then check calls on turn. So I think I'm going to start with a check here on the river, or on the turn. My plan was to get there on the river, though. So not that we have the nuts, but we certainly have the good nuffs. So let's see. My plan is to raise. I guess that's obvious. So the question is how much? I think the worst size is shove, because I don't think he has ace king. Don't think he has like a hand that can really call here too easily. We have to hope he has an ace and wants to think we're trying to get him off a chop. So I actually think I like this number. 35.75 seems like a good size to me. If he has an ace, I don't think he's folding. All right, profit down. Hello. All right, so we're up $7 sweet right now against Greg the knight over there. Obviously, that was a very fortunate river for us, and I don't believe we're going to win that pot without improving to a jack. I don't think we had the best hand on the flop or the turn, in case you're not sure about that. So I'm going to start with the min raise with this hand. I think we've seen him be the most aggressive against the min raise, so I wanted to give him the option if he wanted to be. I wanted to encourage the aggression in case he was looking for any kind of excuse. Once again, I'm going to start at the check here. I don't think he's going to make too many mistakes. Don't think he has too many aces even, so a king doesn't even really scare me that much. Interesting turn card. If he bets out pot or even like half or more, I would probably just call. When he checks to us, I feel pretty confident in betting. If he wants to call, okay. If he wants to fold, okay. we'll take the $4. Sure, we'll take it. No big deal. Queen 3. If he min raises, I'll probably call. If he does anything bigger than a min raise, I think he'll get to win this pot. Nope. He's like, you're gonna call? Nah. All right. I'm out of here. If you want to get yourself something, you know, let's say you're trying to run it up and you're like, wow, I'm doing great. JCarver, I love the money that you're introducing into my life. You're very welcome. And if you want to give me some of that money, you can go get yourself a sweet, sweet run it up hat. That's right. Look at this. Look how great this looks right here. Yeah. Phil Helmet over there is so jealous. He's like, why can't I get a run it up hat? You always get everything nice. Hello, you have these beautiful glasses over there that I don't have. You little bitch. All right. Don't get upset. It's fine. You guys, I don't know if you guys can really see, but now there's not even... Ah, he reloaded. Hello. Now there's not only just one scimitar of pain, but now I found there's another one. It's the real Buccaneer sword. Wow. It's a real, I don't know what kind of sword this is. The other one's clearly a scimitar. This one is some sort of dancing sword. Something to give like aria or something. I don't know. So yeah, now, in case you guys were worried, now there's two dual wield Phil Helmet over there, just protecting the gold. So no concerns there. Am I filming? Indeed I am. I sometimes don't like saying in chat though, because I mean, obviously, you guys know I am, but I don't necessarily want him to know that I am, because like obviously it's fine if he does, especially at this point in my life. I'm not even like a pro on the site anymore, although I still have the badge. This is, I think, the last day in chronological real time that I will still have that, and then every day after this, I'll just be in, I'll just be like a renegade sheriff, just off the rails. Every time we've done this, we've won the pot, I'll point out. Every time he's checked back flop, we've been able to successfully win by the river. I'll just point out that this guy needs to check back with more hands that are good. Or at least mediocre, at least callable. You know, otherwise it just lets us get away with too much tomfoolery. Lets us get away with too much hootenanny. What is hootenanny, really? Sounds like a slang word for vagina. Maybe that's why I don't like it. Maybe that's what it is. Gonna raise it up here for 240. I just want to know what the proper definition is of all these words that I've discovered and kind of like encountered on this run it up season. So in this hand, I started up with a raise to 230 or something like that, and our opponent called. I feel like I'd rather start with a bet than a check because I think he's going to make more folding mistakes than like turn betting mistakes. So I think I'd rather start with the bet, and if he has a hand like 10-9, Queen-Jack, I'd rather have those hands just fold right here and now. He seems like the kind of guy that is like, do I have a pair? Nope, then I'm out of here. So I think when that's the case and we have just a pair of fours, I think I would like to just bet. In this hand, we saw this guy make it 3x and then fold earlier, so I'm going to make it only 9 this time, because this time I'm a little bit more okay with him continuing if he likes. And we also good to know if he just will still fold to 9. That is a flop right there. I actually think I'm going to start here with a check, because once again, we've seen this guy react very snugly to bets, I think, in the past, and we do have the deck and the flop smashed. Oh, this is beautiful. So, plus we've seen this guy, when he's put pressure on, he's continued to put pressure on later streets, so I feel pretty good about our chances here. Call, and the plan is to check call basically all in, or check raise all in, depending on how much he bets on the turn. Start at the check. We could just have kings, as far as he knows. We could have the worst hand, by the way. It's certainly possible. You could have pocket fives, ace five, something like that, but I am not worried about those things right now. I'm trying to get my money in the middle. Let's see what Greg wants to do here. Oh, Greg says, this time I check back. We still managed to improve on the river here. I feel like there's no way in heck that this guy has either a hand that's like ace jack or a hand that's like two pair, right? We would have heard about it if he had two pair on the flop return. So I really wanted to check to give him a chance to bluff. I thought it was most likely that his most likely hand was like diamonds or something that had to try to bluff. So I thought if that was the case, then we had to start the river with a check. By the way, all right, it's fine. I knew it stopped, but I was like, I don't know what that ruckus is outside. I don't know if you guys could have heard that, but there was some ruckus being caused outside. That's for sure. Should we start with a lead? How have leads done historically against this guy? I don't think they've done amazing, but we can try. I feel like our turn bets have done a lot better than our flop bets against him. We have turned a gut shot here. Don't think our hand is strong enough to check call, so I think we're going to start with the bet. I'm going to pause this video, go outside, and scream if that noise does not stop. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that is not okay with me. In this hand, this guy's going to get an extra $6 because I was distracted here. Unreal. What to do here? We do have a gut shot, flush draw, and we're getting like 3 to 1, and if we turn a river a spade, that'll probably be good, and jack maybe. All right, let's just play disciplined poker here and say you got this one, kid. This one, it's not for me. Can't win them all, you know? Let's keep, actually, I think I'm going to just let him win this one as well. You know, I feel like at this point, I feel like we're pretty zoned in on his general tendencies, and I'm a little afraid that at this point, we've kind of like continually kind of beat up, or at least tried to like launch strikes off of our button. So I feel like it's okay to give him some free walks once in a while. That way he kind of gets to feel that we're not constantly swarming him. You know, in truth, you want to be like Nick Diaz. You want to just constantly swarm. You want to be like the Zerg swarm. You know, just constantly attacking, ruthlessly and mercilessly aggressive. But on the other hand, in poker, you can't really just come off that way as like the Zerg can. You know, you kind of got to finesse it a little bit, and you don't want the people to feel like they're drowning playing you heads up, right? I mean, not that most of you guys or any of you guys really have to worry about that, but it's still actually true. Even if you're like a relatively, you know, recreational or amateur player, it's still an important skill to if you have an edge in a situation, you don't want the other person to either like really know why or to quit or be like, you know, I'm sick of this shit. Nobody likes losing, you know. So there is a level of finagling and finesse in poker that is different than in most other activities and things, I think, because people can always just quit. They can always just say, listen, you're a little bitch, I don't want to play with you. And that's not a good thing if you're a professional gambler. I'm going to start here with the bet. That's why if you go back to the old days of like the Puggy Pearsons, the Johnny Moss, the Amarillo Slims, you know, all those guys were fun to play with. You know, even if they were, you know, maybe not the best poker players in the world, it was a lot more than just like, you know, clicking buttons and understanding math and stuff, you know. Those I'd love to have, not like those kind, like those level of guys obviously are mostly not around anymore, but even the generation before mine was a lot more like that, I think. You know, like my online poker generation, I feel like, doesn't have a ton of those kinds of like stories or experiences, but you go back just even one to the Negranus and the Phil Ivies, and you know, those guys really had to work that kind of finagling, finessing kind of thing too. And there are still plenty of guys my generation that have had successful careers in those sort of venues as well. In this hand, I started with a raise, and Greg re-raised for what I believe might be the first time. And I guess we just fold now because we didn't make a pair. He made it easy for us. He just said, you know what? Well, just frick it all to heck. That's it. I said frick it all to heck. That's what I said right there. That's right. In case you're taking notes at home, transcribing this episode. You know, just you know what? To heck with you, JCarver. I'm all in. That's right. This armor is hot and heavy. I'm not enjoying it. You keep leading out on turns, and I'm not winning. And I'm really pissed about that. And I go, sorry, buddy. I tried to tell you. I said, stop checking back with nothing. Start having things when you check back. And then your world will completely be opened. Against players like this, it is quite silly to flop lead when they very often are just checking back on flop and then folding when you bet on the turn. So against players like this, there's really no reason to bet out on flop unless we have very specific reasons that we're trying to induce something. We're trying to... I like that he's trying to make it 4. We could raise. I think this hand is okay. We could raise. Maybe he'll just fold right here and now. But I'm getting the feeling that he's a little sick of our shit. So I think we'll just wait. We'll just patiently let the line out there. You know, just relax. You know, I gotta get a fishing line. I think that's what we have to do here. Let's try min raising. Let's see if Greg is still in the folding mood to min raises. Works for me. If he doesn't want to contest with us, that's okay. This feels like this has been a very relaxing episode of Run It Up. Is it just me? I mean, I know we were losing. There was some tumultuousness in the beginning, but for the most part, this has been pretty pain-free. I feel like it's just been a relaxing day by the Run It Up Bay. That's right. That's what this has been. So once again, I feel like we'll just bet on the turn and probably win unless he has like a 9 there. Okay. So now actually, Mr. Greg, if you watch these videos, I'm sure at this point you'll have said, maybe I should check back a little bit more. But these are the kinds of things that attentiveness earn you in life, by the way. Gotta look out for things like this. In this hand, we've seen him get more aggressive pre-flop, so I feel a little bit better about calling with hands like this, although not great given that we don't have 2-1. But I still think in position, it's close, and we probably can, so let's see a flop. Okay, looks like we're going to see a turn unless he just chips it in our face again, in which case he would win this pot. Spoiler alert. If he had 100, I think I would call. But I'm a little afraid of calling here because I guess actually we could. We do have a gut shot, jack draw, 6 might be good, diamond might get him to check fold. All right, let's make a turn card dealer. Let's see a turn card. Not the turn card I was hoping for here in my dream of dreams. Yeah, I mean, this is why I didn't think peeling was great. I thought that maybe it was okay, you know, we could turn a jack 6 to 7 and probably continue on all those cards. Maybe he makes a mistake sometimes on 10s, which give us an open-ender. 7s give us an open-ender as well. I thought that we had enough equity to continue on flop, given that we could win the pot sometimes on other cards that didn't necessarily improve us, like diamonds and stuff like that. But that might have been too ambitious, given that he bet 15 into like 18, and he seems like he's kind of in the mood that he doesn't want to just check fold, and he's been kind of turning up the aggression. So when he's turning up the aggression, floating with jack high, maybe not the best of profitable endeavors. Can't say I didn't try though. You know, it's never profitable if you don't try. That's just true. Gonna play here for a few more minutes. I think I'm probably gonna only play a one and done session here today. Don't think I'm gonna play a 2-parter here. I kind of like the 1-part episodes, you know. I mean, I know a lot of you guys like playing longer sessions, and I like playing longer sessions too. But I think for Run It Up, I kind of like playing 30-minute blocks so people can just watch one. They get to, you know, you guys get to eat it, and then move on to the next day. If you miss an episode, whatever. It's a new day. You don't have to go back and watch. You know, no one likes to do that. This is America. I don't like to go back. Let's just go forward. So I check back on this flop here, and now I'm betting on this turn half pot. I feel like this will work very often against this kind of player because he hasn't announced any kind of strength. We check back on flop. We could have decent hands. He doesn't know that we don't have. It's actually kind of funny. If he had checkers us in that spot, I would have thought that there is a chance that he read our flop check back as weak and then attacked us on turn, which would be hilarious since that's basically what we've done for the majority of our profit in this video. I'm pretty sure all of our profit is based off of those turn bet stab wins there. That I don't know for sure, but if you went back and looked at all the turn pots that we won and added them up, I would bet you it's very close to our profit right now. That's true. I feel like that's probably about right. I hate when they start tanking. I always worry. I always go like, okay, I'll check. I promise I'll check. And then just like I try to like emotionally negotiate with them when they start tanking. Just please just check. Can't fold, gut shot, overcard, backdoor flush draw, etc. But I'm not super loving it. Let's see a turn card dealer. Oh, hey there. That's I got a date with an 8, and I'm feeling great. Let's see what Greg wants to do. In the past, when he's been aggressive on the flop, he's been aggressive on the turn. This is actually the first time that he hasn't bet just like pot, though. I think I'm going to raise for value. I'm a little afraid of, on the river, coming jacks and sixes and spades and nines. And, you know, all those things are not really very cool to me. So I think I'm going to start the raise. If he has a set or two pair, he could just ship it in our face right now. If he has a pair and a flush draw, he could just ship it in our face right now. That is an excellent river card for us. My plan is to put money in the pot and then take more money out of it. Are you thinking about shipping? Little shipperoo? I don't know what this means. It's like, we're going to bet like 2/3 pot or something. Okay. I thought there was a chance he was going to do our bidding for us, which is always nice. So the question is, what should we bet? If he has a set, he'll call pretty much anything. If he has two pairs, same thing. If he has the flush draw, he won't. If he has one pair, he probably won't. So like I said, 2/3 pot was about where I was at the whole time. Once he like tank checks, I don't think he's like check calling too often. We could have bet closer to half pot, but I think I like where we were at there. I kind of feel like we were in a good zone of like the 2/3 pot. Again, there are going to be some hands he's going to have that are never going to call no matter what we do, right? There are going to be some class of hands that will never call no matter what. So all you can worry about are what can he call with the hands that are going to call anything. So of the hands that are going to call anything, which are like two pairs, top pairs, over pairs. Can I have over pairs? No, he just min-raised, or we min-raised. It was not a re-raised pot pre-flop. So he can't have over pairs probably. So that means to me that he has things like sets, two pairs, straights, like the low end of the straight, or, you know, he could have the high end of the straight. It could be slow playing. It's possible. So he could have either the high two pairs, medium two pairs, sets, straights, and I'm pretty sure all of those hands are calling 2/3 of the pot, given our history and the exact board. I'm pretty sure all those hands are calling that size. I'm not going to fold here. You could have an ace in his hand, but we have a 3 flush, 3 straight. Not that that means anything on this board, and a pair, so can't fold just yet. We've added a 3rd jack to our collection. That's right. It's 2 jacks and me. Oh, I was going to make a joke, but I guess we have to think. Okay. Well, Oh, man. Okay, let's get our thinking caps on here, boys. So, for one, he could be tilted, right? Because we've been crushing him. We've been kind of rolling here. He could have a hand like Queen Jack, King Jack, and not re-raising pre. It's possible, but he's been re-raising a decent amount of time lately. Could have King Queen, but again, that hand would re-raise pre-flop sometimes. Could have Ace Jack, Jack 10, 10 10, Ace Ace, or Jack Jack. But all those hands, I can't have Jack Jack because we have a Jack, but all those hands I think we would have heard from pre-flop. Like, to me, I feel like this is like Queen 8 of hearts, you know, King 8 of hearts, sometimes just like Ace 4, Ace 9, like sometimes it's just like Jack 8 and we're chopping, you know. So I don't think I'm going to fold this here, but like I don't really see how many hands you can have that we're losing to. You could have like Jack 9, but again, we're chopping with that hand, so all right, let's run it, boys. Let's put in the $50 and see if we can just crush it here. Nice. All right, so that was not even, that was maybe a little bit of a slow roll there, but I feel pretty good about our decision, so there was that at least. I didn't think he would have a hand that was as weak as that, but I think he just figured that we would just not be able to call. But call we did. All right, so I guess that means that means the video is over. It's really nice when we bust people on time. That's how you know you're a professional. That's like Tony G levels of professionalism right there. When you just bust the people at the end of the episode, you know? Should we stay? Should we play 2 episodes? No. Let's just bust the guy. If you enjoyed today's video, please let me know about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video. We started with less, ended with more, and we did a lot of like mental deconstruction, importation, exportation. That's what this is, by the way. We did a whole lot of money-making madness. So, you know, let's all get excited about that. That's why I got green glasses for the occasion, because we made some money. That's right. How do you guys like that? That's right. That's right. God, JCarver, you're so cool. Yeah, that's what I am. Anyway, I'll just do like Dan O'Brien style for the time being. That's me. I'm just hanging out in my cool sunglasses on my Run It Up hat. That's right. Anyway, what did we end up with today? We won. We were in for 150, right? We were in for 150, so I ended up only winning $107.66, but it's still not bad. So we ended up today with $1,388, $89, something like that. Almost $1,400 though. Damn, we're really running it up. That's right. Once we left the coop and the cage, once those cage doors opened, we just flew on free right there. That's right, like Echo the Dolphin. That's right, 2 Echo the Dolphin references in 1 season. That's right. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'll be back with more tomorrow. Not sure what we'll be doing, but hey, that's part of the fun. So we'll see you guys back for more Run It Up tomorrow. Don't forget runup.com for your shirts and hats. So we have hats and poster patches and all sorts of cool things like that. So if you're trying to get yourself a cool Run It Up hat, you go right ahead. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys, as always, and I will see you back for more tomorrow. That's right. Peace. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twitch. Gonna just take a second to make sure that this is all working, that you guys can hear me through the internet tubes. And if we're all a go, we'll get started here today. And let's make sure you guys can all hear me, see me. You know, levels are good. And we are live. That's right. All right, as soon as you guys can definitely hear and see me, then we'll begin the thing. Thanks, Andy Avalanche. Welcome. What's up, Cake Eater 12? What's going on, everybody? Thanks, Shitanki. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. What's going on? Is this on delay? No, there's no delay. As you can see.